So we've almost completed the journey from the ground up. From the soles of our shoes to the top of my head, I've done the legs, the torso, the shoulders, the forearms, and the final bit, the icing on the cake, is the wrist hinge. So if I went back to show you earlier, the idea of the wheel, we've glued the spokes together. So when the palms are parallel and my thumbs are upright, that's what we call neutral for the arms, and they can rotate freely within the plane. Now I've stuck my thumbs up, but that's not the way that I'm made. I'm made with my thumbs hanging, my arms hang, my thumbs are sort of parallel to my index finger. The great Australian golfer Steve Elkington said that if he had cosmetic surgery, he'd have his thumbs stitched to his index finger, which is a bit drastic, but it's actually quite a good thought. The left thumb and the right thumb run downwards, and when the hands come together, the left thumb is parallel to the shaft and the right hand fits it. Now, because the palm's behaving properly, wrist hinge is available to you. Now, wrist hinge is something that when we get older, we're reluctant to hinge our wrists. And senior golfers, as they get older, they become afraid to hinge the wrists, and as a result of that, their arm bends and their swing becomes weak. We do need wrist hinge, and it's a strange thing, but wrist hinge makes your swing more accurate than without it. So, you'll see me do this many times. There's the fence post, there's my mallet, I'm hitting the fence post in plane. If I turn to the side, this is non-wristy, and this is wristy. There's more speed with the wrist hinge. If I'm stiff-wristed, my forearms take me out of plane. Wrist hinge makes me faster within the plane, and it guarantees my plane. So, just demonstrating the swing. As the shoulder turns, the forearms roll and rise, gives me a three-quarter movement. Now I hinge the wrist. You see, I'm in the same plane. This is me in plane non-wristy, this is me in plane wristy. Okay? So if I go in with wrist hinge, the full swing in plane, gives me a high soft draw. If I had a low draw, I would just take the wrists out of that backswing motion. But the plane is essentially the same. Okay, so I taught you the grip last this time, because the grip only comes when you've got good posture. You have to offer the club, it's tipping from the hip that facilitates the parallel left thumb and the right hand fitting it. So you can't have a good grip without good posture. Lots of people teach the grip first. I think that's a mistake. All right, let's hit some shots. I'm going into the 17th at St Andrews here, and I'm going to try and effect a high, soft landing shot. So my shoulder coil to my throat, but I'm going to fully engage my wrist hinge. Okay, so here we go. Lots of wrist hinge going back and lots of right hand release coming through. There we are. With a high, soft landing shot. That's a career shot for me. Let's get a low one in now. I'm going to bring this in right to left, bring it in up the green. So, through the routine, aim at the flag. I go around the circle to send the ball on the line I intend, and the blade goes with me. Now I'm going to hit the shot with no wrist hinge. I'm just going to move in from low from right to left. See the ball working the other way? That was the same club, it went further because obviously when you're playing draw spin, the club face is strengthening through impact. But there we go, the swing plane was the same. I just aimed to where I wanted the ball to start, and I just chose to use my wrists. My wrists were very active for the high shot, and they were quiet for the low shot. It's good to know which part of your body does what for the golf ball. Having hit some shots, utilising wrists for a high shot and quiet wrists for a low shot, let me just give you a couple of key drills to help you. Now this is a left hand drill, okay? Take two clubs, 5 and a 6, 7, 8, something like that. Put the grips together parallel, and using your left hand, not using the thumb, you mustn't use the thumb, the back of the hand should be flat. So you can see that I'm not cupped or bowed, it's just I'm absolutely parallel. And can you see I'm not using the thumb? Now take the right hand away and support those two clubs. Now you'll be working these three fingers and the forearm muscles will be working, but it gives you a tremendous sense of the top three fingers of the left hand working. Now a lot of you won't be able to do it with 2 clubs, so start off with 1 and build up. Take the 1 club, fingers, thumb on top, flat of the hand, and then just do it with 1. But that way you're working your forearms and your hands. You're clamping the left hand onto the club. Also, if you wear your glove out here and here, it'll slow that process down, save you a fortune in new gloves. So just one more time. Hands over the grip, no thumb, and that's a great exercise for the left hand. Okay, this one looks easier, but I find it harder to do. Just extend your arm out, level with the floor, and then just work the club in your fingers, keeping the arm horizontal. You're now exercising the fingers. So this is strength and dexterity. The left hand was just a clamping grip. I was just sort of gluing my left hand onto the shaft, but this is strength with dexterity and with feel. Okay, so a couple of circuits of that, and again, you'll be working the muscles. Now, you can combine those two drills. You've got your left hand grip sorted out. You now know what your right hand is, that they're sorted. Stand up, and then point the club to the sky. So this is a right angle. Now, this is just you ensuring that wrist cock is easy. If you find that difficult, it's because your arms are out of line and your wrists. You need neutral grip if you're going to hinge your wrist easily to 90 degrees. Now, if I stick my little finger out as my axis, I go 90 right, 180 left. You've seen this before, it's the windscreen wiper drill. But this is a great drill to educate the hands, the forearms and the wrists. The only thing I'm not doing here is my shoulders. If I come back, this is a wrist exercise, this is a forearm rotation exercise. So this is really good for wrists and forearms. If you want to add the shoulder turn in, of course you can. All right, so use those exercises, as I say, and save you a fortune in golf gloves, if nothing else.